please do follow along so that in case you guys also have any queries, you can just follow. You guys can like solve it right now itself, and I'll try my level best to help you. And if there is anything else, then we'll soon if there is some doubt that how to deploy Django or something like that, then please feel free to ask that in our Discord channel, because I don't think we have enough time to like explain on Django or React. But then I'll give you a basic idea about how to make your first website. So yeah, like I said, why does it matter? So HTML and CSS are used in every website. So how like even it's used in it's going to be used in the website that we're going to make. It's used in the website that is there like by Google or Apple. So that is like the basic programming language. It's basically like how you're saying computers work because of binary. That's how websites work because of HTML and CSS. So HTML is more like it's like a structure. It just defines the structure of a website. So every website needs structure so that we can like know where which content goes. So HTMLs are like the crucial. I mean, websites are not possible without HTML. And so these are table of contents. So first we'll be going into the intro of HTML and CSS. So this is what we'll be making at the end. It's basically like a small resume or like a portfolio of like yourself. And in this one, it's just a demo that was there by MLH. So in that, it's for Ada Lovelace, and it contains her about, a picture of herself, her social media handles, then the project that she did, along with a small description about the project. So, like I said, uh, did everyone like make account in Discord? I mean, Glitch. Can, uh, can you people like say one in the chat if you guys already made an account? Or like if you guys need any help, I mean, you guys need any more time for like this, please put a 0 or any other number other than 1. So I think we'll get started. So I'll just keep the slides side by side so that moving into the
Rahul,
Discord. Yeah,
could you put the website link, the glitch link again, the chat?
yeah, sure. Okay, so anyways, I'm hoping that everyone made an account in Glitch. Moving on to, so first we'll take us website that's already made so that we'll work on that. I'll just explain as we go, I'll explain what each of them means. So I'll just share the link. So everyone please open this link so that from there we'll get the starter code. So basically that's like the building blocks we are supposed to like make on top of them. So that's, we can say that it's like a Lego set. So everyone please open that so that yeah, we can follow them. Is it possible for me to like split screen this thing with that this entire thing will come? Mm. Okay, anyways, I'll just go along. So when we open this link, when we scroll down, there is a small button called Remix Your Own. So when you click on that, it basically creates, it just replicates. It's like if you've used Google Drive Docs or anything like that, it's basically like saying make a copy. So we are Control C, Control V, yeah. So now it will create a project for you people where you can edit the code. So I think I'll just go along. Like I won't ask for like every time whether did you guys reach here, did you guys reach here. If anyone is lagging behind or if anyone is having any problem with this thing, please just unmute and say, as I won't be able to see the chat. And I'm constantly hearing the sound because people are joining in. So I won't know whether it's a chat or people joining it. So if there is anything, unmute and say, okay. So I think, okay, you can do the same thing, like you can just split screen the Google Meet on one side and this Remix on the other side. I'm just keeping this thing also because it just gives us a proper, like, structure and everything. We just explain properly. I just made it like that. So first we'll host the site. We'll just I'll just open it in a next to, so it'll be there on the side. I don't want to like open it on one more tab, so then it'll be like too cluttered. But I really want to close this thing. Is it possible to close this? Oh yes, possible. Yeah. Okay, so once you press on the show, like it just shows what like whatever that's there on your HTML, this HTML file that's there on the side, on the right side. So basically, this is what that was already there. We're just making a copy of it, and we'll just work on this to make it according to our needs. So yeah, this is what it looks like. You're going to change it completely. So basically, that's how I think everyone starts HTML. They just like take a code and they'll just start working around. I mean, once you make like a proper website, that's what you actually do. You take a template and you basically work around with it. Like you change the template name to the company name that you want to put it in. So I'll just basically it's a hackathon. So I'll just show you how to hack this thing. Not the hacking network hacking thing, but how to the jugaad, like when you in Hindi it's called jugaad, Malayalatile tattikootter. So I'll just show you how that thing works. So yeah, so here, like we since it's a portfolio, first we have to like change this what's your name to your name, like, so I'll just fill it in. So my name is Rahul, so I'll just make that Rahul. I'll explain what each of these tags are, like why the code is like this in a bit. We just like I just show how to change it, then I'll explain what all these things are. So right now, just follow along. Then I'll just give you like I'll just tell you why this one is bigger, why this one is smaller, and why this is blue in color and all those things. I'll just explain that a bit more. Like once we did it, like once we do it, then we have this idea of like what is happening, what is it like, what is going on there. Then here title I'll change it to my name. That's very awesome. Now moving on to the next slide. Yeah, so basically, yeah, my name comes there. Like when I change this H1, like whatever that was written there, what's your name to Rahul Snell, my name came there. Then yeah, so basically that's the first HTML that you edited. I hope you all edited. Okay, I think this time like I can come and check like whether who all did it. Can you guys give me a two if you guys like did reach till here, like change that what's your name to your name. Oh yeah, sure. I'll put that in one. Yeah, so now moving on to like what's there on the side, like what all files are there. Then I'll explain more about what is there in each file. So mainly there is an asset file. So what asset files contains, like it contains all the assets like images, media, videos, or like fonts and all those things. Like whatever you want to put that is like an image or a video, we store it in an asset file. It's basically like a very good way to structure a website so that it's organized, it's not cluttered. Then it contains a README. So README contains all things. Like it's a like how you when you download a software, it comes with the README.txt. So basically the same way. This is a README. Then it contains an HTML file. So like I said, HTML is like it's like the basic structure. It's like the backbone of the website. So it contains all the structure, what goes where. Like here, when I put Rahul Sunil, it comes Rahul Sunil there. If I put here, if I remove the word let's, I mean build from there, it just like removes that build from there. So basically whatever I'm editing here comes on the other side as well. Then media queries. So this is what makes our site responsive. So what is responsive is this when I'm like making it bigger and when I'm making it smaller, it's not affecting anything. Like when you're opening Google on your mobile, it just comes perfectly. It's not it just doesn't come very zoomed in or zoomed out. Basically that's responsive. So as the screen size changes, it just fits to the screen size. So like you can see here, when the screen size is 375 pixel or like that's like a length, like how centimeters inches are, like when it's 375 pixels, it should like the body, the website should have 98 VW, and when it is smaller, it should change. So basically, it just shrinks and expands the website according to your display, whether it's mobile or laptop. So this is like a very crucial thing like nowadays, because most of the websites are responsive nowadays, because I think around more than 50% of the users open a site in their mobile rather than website nowadays. So building a responsive website is very much needed. It's not like something. It's not like a added feature nowadays. It's like an essential thing. It just goes without saying. When you're making a website, it should be responsive. If it's not responsive, then that's not like that's basically useless kind of. Then it contains the style CSS. So here is where, like before I said, why is it blue in color? So in styles is where I style it. Like it just adds colors, or like how big it should be, or like which font it should have, and whether I should have any space between all these things, whether I should elongate, or like whether there should be letter spacing. All those things comes here, so that it's not just like a uh, just like some random or like without any colors or anything. It won't be very monotonous. It will be much more interactive, or like much more uh, what good to look at. If it that's what a styles.css makes. It just makes the site more pleasing to eyes, like aesthetic beauty. uh, Then moving on to what is HTML. So in our HTML, it's basically a skeleton of our website. So just like our website, every website in the world, like they all have a skeleton which is coded in HTML. For example, if I open Google, even Google, yeah. So this is Google. So when I open the source code of Google, even that is in HTML. Like since it's Google, it has a lot of stuff, but even that's in HTML. That's a very basic HTML. Like so everything, like be it Google or the site that you're making, or Apple site or whatever site it is basically structured using HTML, and it has a styles page also. Like it has a lot of CSS pages, like images. Those are assets. Yeah. So these are CSS pages. Like before we saw that colors and stuff. Same way here also there are so many things. Since like here it's much more complicated when you see it. But I'll just explain it in a very simple way since it's our first website. So basically HTML. Wait, before that, are you guys able to follow along? Am I going too fast? People are still joining. Anyways, I think we'll have to share the recorded session because starting from this beginning is not a proper way. But are you guys able to follow along? Okay, not fast. Okay, thanks, Viknesh. Okay, so basically every HTML, it has like a tag system. So for example, when I take the title, it has an opening tab, a closing tab, and the content between them. So basically the tags define what kind of a like what how the content should be. For example, if I give h1 here, it's a very bigger text. If I make it into h2, it just becomes a bit smaller. I should change both of them. Like I have to change the opening tab and the closing tab. It just becomes a bit small. Or if I make it into h3, it'll become even smaller. So basically the stacks decide what kind of content goes in there, like how the content should be rendered on the website, or how it should be displayed on the website. So I'll just change that to H1. Then okay, so all the HTML pages are written inside like that. Like I said, every tag inside the tag there are contents. So the entire HTML page is written inside the HTML tag. So it starts with HTML, it ends with HTML. Then it contains a head tag and also a body tag. So a head tag contains some of the like it contains so many other tags which are not displayed on the site, which is used for like what comes on this tab, the tab that's on the top, or like which style pages, like which all .css, the style pages to load, where it is stored, or like which all fonts are needed. Like here it's taking fonts from Google, and like style sheet from styles.css and media queries from media. So basically it defines all things that are needed. So if you're coming from a computer science background, it's basically like initializing a variable. Like if it's C++, it's more like int A or int B, something like that. Like they're initializing the things that are needed for displaying it the way you want it. So from it, inside the head, the first one is title. So like I said, what comes here? That's what title decides. So if I make it Rahul Sunil, so here will come Rahul Sunil. If I change it into something like my portfolio, it will come as my portfolio on the top. So in this, it won't come. Like I'll open it in a new tab, then you'll be able to understand. Yeah, here it came as my portfolio. So if I change from my portfolio to back to Rahul, it just changes that. So whatever I type inside the title goes on the tab. I'll close this, will be much easier. Then all these are like, the things that are defined for each browser. So all these things are like boilerplates. Like you don't have to write it by yourself. It's already available. When you write it using a code editor like VS Code or Atom or Sublime, you'll be able to get all the boilerplates that are needed. So this meta character set and this HTTP key and all those things, you'll get it. Like it's a boilerplate that comes along. You don't have to code it by yourself. Then viewport is basically, like I said, it's responsive. So a viewport sets the display size. It just tells like what's the width of this website, what's the height of the website, how much scale it is, like whether it's zoomed in or zoomed out. Then the styles contain all the like that's these are links where I open the styles. So I think we explained this meta tags. So meta tags, like I said, it contains the character set and all those things. Then yeah, so links. So basically links open like it opens files that are needed for displaying our website. So it just links other files that we already coded, like this style.css that I coded, which I need for displaying this website in the way I want it. For example, if I change this color from this one to red, we'll change it to red here. So basically, I need to do this. So that like I'll code all this in a style.css page, and I need to call that in my HTML page so that my HTML page knows which all files I have to take to display the way the like the developer wrote the code in. So I'll just change back to the blue color. I think it's blue color. So in this, it loaded two other files, that is media queries and styles. Then these two links, it just takes the fonts from the Google font and also Bootstrap. That is another framework that we are using here. So all these things, like I said, these are like things that are boilerplates. Like it just comes along like that, and if you want to change it, you can change it. This so basically, this font awesome has a lot of fonts in it. So we'll be using these fonts to display our social icons. So before I said in that Ada Lovelace, there were yeah, there are some social icons on the bottom. So getting the social icons, I'm importing this font awesome, so that I'll be able to like get those fonts instead of uploading my own images. Because when I'm opening the link, it just takes the images that are already there online. Uh, Moving on to the links, then moving on to the body part. So I think you might have got a small idea about what H1 is. It's basically header one. So there is H1 to H6. So as the number increases, the size of the content, the size of the content that is there on the site, it decreases. So when I make it into H1 is will be this big, and if I change it to H6, it will be much smaller. So basically, that defines the size of the content that goes in there. It's basically like headings, subheadings. So if you are writing, uh, like for example, we are writing a notebook. So first, you're writing in a notebook. So the chapter name will be the head H1. Then the first topic that comes in that chapter will be H2. One second. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Are you guys able to hear me? Plus is on. Okay, so moving on to the rest. So basically, it has a header tag. Then the p tag. P tags is basically paragraph. So I'll just change this back to H1 so that basically in my resume, my name should be the highlight. Yeah, so I'll just change back to H1. Then it has a paragraph tag. So basically, whatever I write in here comes as a paragraph there. So if I wanna write, I'm a full stack developer. So yeah, we come there, full stack developer. So that's a paragraph tag. So that's our HTML page. So basically, it just showed what are there in our HTML page. The script that is basically like link will open the JavaScript file that's needed. But in our case, we won't be going into the JavaScript and the CSS. These two things are not needed for making a normal website. These things are here because we are hosting it on glitch, like it's glitch buttons that are there, like this button. For this button, for getting this button, they're using this thing. But in our case, we don't need that. Like when we are making a portfolio, we don't want a glitch button on our portfolio, obviously. So now moving on to the colors, like mine is, I think it's blue in color. Okay, so we need to change the colors. We need to give spacings between all these things because HTML just gives you a structure. It just gives you a skeleton. You need to fill it with colors. You need to make it more visually pleasing. Then only it's a good website. I don't think anyone will want to see Google as just Google on the top and the search box that comes. Google has a brand. So basically, the style button makes your brand. So moving on to the style page. So in style, just like in HTML, we have two tags like opening tag and a closing tag, and there's content in between. In styles also there is a selector, the property and the value. So basically, selector selects. So selector selects like which part, like the in our case H1. So it just selects the H1 from our HTML. Then there we have to give in the property, we have to tell like what property we have to change. So in our case, we are changing the color. We are changing the color to blue in color. So basically, it contains a selector, property, and a value. So if we want to change this, the color of this paragraph to red, we can call the selector is P. Then color will be red. So we'll change the color of that to red. I think it's too small. You guys maybe won't. Okay, so I'll make it into white, so they'll become invisible. So this, yep. So yeah. So basically, you select the tag which you want to change. Then you select which property that you want to change, whether it's the color or the spacing or the letter spacing. For example, if I want to increase the letter spacing, I can just give letter spacing and 10 pixels. So it just made the letter spacing like much more bigger. All these CSS, which all properties are there, all these you can get from CSS. Like even W3 schools you'll be able to get. Uh, Inside the W3 schools, you'll be able to see all the properties that are there. Like for example, in colors or like selectors contains all the selectors that are there. So in case of reference or like documentation part, you guys can refer this. I'll just put it in the chat. So just keep it for like, I hope you guys will be making a website during our hackathon. So maybe that time this might come in handy. Also, there is Mozilla's documentation, which is also pretty good. I prefer the Mozilla documentation because, like I said, I like the CSS, the style CSS page of Mozilla much better. It just looks more cooler. Okay, so uh, okay, so now you guys might be thinking the other one looked cooler. Even I'm thinking the same thing. Why do I like this one more? I think it's the way it's written. Maybe because of that I like this more. Anyways, I'll share this also on the chat so that you guys can store like use it for reference later. Then moving on to yeah, I have explained this thing like value the property. Now you guys have a basic understanding of HTML and CSS. Now we just go through like the rest, like adding more content. So basically, these things you guys have to do by yourself, like adding your content. In my case, I'll be adding my about, and for example, I'll just add something like, um, "Hi, I'm Rahul." Then my about would be in H3 about. Oh, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I mean, my door is open, so some fly came in. So yeah. So moving on to the CSS, I mean, adding the content. So I just add an about. There also be student. So you guys can fill this thing like later when you are making like your thing that you are writing. You can just for right now just add student or like something like hi I'm there. Then later just fill it up. This one I explained like the h2 tag, the paragraph element. Then yeah, moving on to the projects. So in that other page, when you see it, the projects are ordered like a list. It has a bullet points right next to it. So in order to get a list, there is a tag called UL tag. So UL means unordered list. There is OL for ordered list. So when you're using OL, it comes 1, 2, 3. When you're using UL, it comes like a bullet points. So that's 3 projects. Then I'll write that as UL. So inside UL, if I want my first thing, like first project that I want to add, it can be it's written inside li. So list items, that is li. So I'll be see like once I added this li thing, a bullet point came in. So I'll just add mlh. The second li will be ingress. So it just comes as a bullet point. Like I said, if I change this ul to ol, that is ordered list, it becomes 1, 2. So it's unordered list and ordered list. Yes, so li, what's li, and like all these things that is explaining the part. So yeah, like this, I just made like a very basic thing. I just like showed you how this thing works. You can fill in with your data, like you can just add hi, uh, hi, I'm so and so, and like I'm studying from this, and then you can add about where like I'm studying this particular college in this year, and my interests are programming, developing, designing, and all those things. Then you can add in all your projects that you want. So yeah, that's all your creativity. I'm leaving it to you. So yeah, inside UL there are li like list items. Uh, like I'll be sharing this slides with you people also, so you guys can like go through it if you guys have any doubt. Or like if you guys want to like refresh, I'll just share the slides with you people also. I think you can get it from the page, that page where you registered for this workshop, MLH workshop. When you scroll down, you'll be able to see like download the slides, download the workshop slides. So yeah, elements can be nested also, which means if I want to add subtopics to the MLH, like in MLH, what all I'm doing. So there is MLH, that is one, that is a list item inside my unordered list. Inside that, if I want to add something like, okay, so I just like made it much more, like I just made it like opening tab on top, then the content, then the closing tab, so that I can add nested list, which will make it much more easier to like go through it when you're writing the code. So inside that, if I want to add, I can add one more li. I mean, not li, ul. So I'm making a unordered list inside MLH. Localhost. So basically, like inside MLS, there is localhost. There is first website. So it's like writing sub points to your main point, and this HTML makes this thing like first one should be a darker, it'll be filled. The second one won't be filled. So actually, even these things are styles. Like these, like there are some styles that comes with the browser. So when you open your website in a browser, that browser will already have some styles that it applies to the website. So this one comes under that. Like when it is nested, it'll come like first one will be darker, second will be lighter. And if I make one more inside this, like inside my website, if I'm adding one more UL, it'll have some. We'll be having squares. So these are nested lists. It's like making a sub list items to your main list item, making sub points. So it just goes the same way. You just add it inside another tag. So just like how we added all these h1 and all inside body, and how we added head and body inside HTML. Basically, we are seeing this from the beginning, but like I'm just showing it to you so that it's just yeah. Then moving on to the assets. So like I said, assets contain all the images, videos, and all. So in this case, like I'll just add this image that is there. If you want to add your image, you can add your image. For example, I'll just, okay, first I'll add the image that is there in this. I think, okay, inside this there is no image, but okay, then it's easier. I'll just show you how to add an image that is, like I'm taking an image, for example, something like profile photo. Yeah, so I'll just take this particular image and I'll just add it here in our website. So you guys can add your images. So either you can add it inside the assets, or like you can take the images that you already posted on your Facebook. So in this case, I'll just take this particular image. So how to add an image to your site? It's using something called image tag. Just like how we used an ordered list tag, we'll be using an image tag here. So inside the image tag, so I just open and close an image tag. So inside the image tag, I'll set the source, src as the source, to the link that I want to add. For example, in this case, if you're adding something from the assets, I just have to add slash assets slash the image name. For example, if I'm adding dp.jpg, you'll just add that dp.jpg. I'll just show how that thing works. Okay, I'll just add updates for. Okay, so now I just added Advait's photo in my assets folder. So now if I want to add that to our site, I'll just take assets, then Advait. I think it's Advait.jpg. Okay. G. Okay, so actually it's not stored. Okay, so when I click on it, I'll be able to get the code from there. I'll be able to get the link where it's saved from there. So I'll just copy that link. I'll just paste it here. Yep, Advait's picture came since it's like a very big image. Oh my god. That's like a very big image. That's why it's like so zoomed out. I mean, so zoomed in. Okay, we'll use a smaller image. I think 640 and 640. I think that'll be fine. Copy. I mean, copy image address. So basically, I want the address, not the image. I want the address where this image is actually saved. So I'll just say, I'll just change from Advait's image to that particular image that I got from Google Images. And Missed something somewhere. Copy the link. I think inside glitch they're like they won't allow. So when you open it, like in your like when you're making like in your HTML, when you change it, you just change that. In glitch, I think they'll only allow the images that are there inside the assets. So if I add something here, I'll be able to get the code. But how will I show this example? For example, okay. So if no, that'll be too. I'll just confuse then. So yeah, so basically if I want to add something, I'll just upload it here and then I can copy the code. That's how it works in glitch. But in your okay, I can actually show a bit demo like how it comes in a normal site. So yeah, here I'm saving the image of Catalyst inside the static page. So this is a live website. These are actually our ingress website. So here I'm saving inside static, inside the images, inside sponsors, I'm having a image called Catalyst. So how to reference that is inside static, images, sponsors, Catalyst. Basically change the SRC to the image that you want to put. So yeah, that's like a bit demo. I mean, when you add yours, if you have having any doubts, just like ping me. I'll be sharing the slides also with you people. Yeah, back to the workshop. So yeah, here I'll just add. I'll just download this picture and I'll just upload it. I'll just download a smaller picture so that it just doesn't come like really big. Yes. I'll just download this one. This one looks series now. Save image. Desktop, I'll just save it. I'll upload it here. Desktop. I'll copy the link and I'll just change it to like how I did for Advait. I'll just change this link to that particular link. Yep. So I'll just add an image. Then yeah, inside image, inside the source, you have to give the link to the image that you want to add. Then yeah, basically now then we'll add a contact page. So contact section. So it will contain the social media icons. So before I imported the social media icons, like the fonts that I need, like the icons that I need here. So I'll be using that now. So yeah, I just imported it like link. I just imported from Font Awesome. So Font Awesome contains almost all the fonts that all the fonts as in all the icons that you need. For example, if you want Font Awesome like Twitter, you just have to search for the Font Awesome Twitter. You'll get the Twitter icon and like almost all the icons, like the brand icons, LinkedIn icon, Facebook, email, and all those things will be there in Font Awesome. I'll just show you how to use these things. First, you have to import it. Like in link, you have to just call that Font Awesome. Then how to use it, I'll just show it to you now. So we'll be adding all these, like we'll be adding the social icons at the end as a footer. Till now, is anyone having any doubts or like anything like that? Hello? Okay, is everyone here? Hello? Everyone's here?
Audible, bro.
You are audible.
Okay, okay. So inside the footer, I'll be adding the social media icons. So I'll be creating A means anchor tab. So that's where I put the link. So I'll be adding A, then the link that I want to put. For example, if I want to put the link of Twitter, I'll just take the link that I want to put. So if I want to take Ingress, like our Ingress hack, the Twitter link of our Ingress hack, I'll just copy the link. I'll just add in that href, that is reference, like, it just refers to which site it goes. Then I'll be adding a target blank. So basically what target blank does is, so if I don't add target blank, when I click on that particular link, it just open it in that same page itself. Like for example, if I'm clicking on, when I went in Google, when I'm clicking on this first thing, this is opening in that page itself, in that tab itself. But when I'm adding blank, it'll open that in a new tab. So since Twitter and all, like, you just redirect from some other site, you just open it in a new tab. That's why I'm adding blank. Then inside that, so I need a icon there. So I'll be using I. That's also a tag. So I'll be using I and the class. So here, like I said, if I want to use Twitter, I'll just use FA Twitter. So here I'm using Twitter, so I'll just use FA Twitter. So yeah, Twitter came in there. So there I'm just I just made it to 3x, which means it just makes that image 3x times. So I just added that. All these things are there available in this page itself. Like you'll be able to see what all you can do with that. Like when you search for font awesome itself, it will just tell you like which all fonts that you want, like what all things you want to put to make it bigger, smaller, or like change the color and all. And then I'll just, yeah, so basically I added a link. So when I click on this particular icon, you just open a new tab. I think I have to open it in a new tab, then only I can. So when I click on this link, we'll open a new tab for our Ingress hack. Basically, just added a link which redirects to some other page. So you can use that to like add all your other contact sections like Facebook, Instagram, GitHub. So yeah, in this one they added LinkedIn. So basically, you can add all those things. So I explained this thing. So A is for, it's an anchor element. So basically, that's where you add the links. Then I is for icons. href is for like referencing other pages. Then targets is that's like where you want to open it, in the same tab or in a new tab. So we use blank, so it means it opens in a new tab. Then class. So basically, you can use classes to add. In our case, we're using class to add the icon. But basically, mainly class are used for like adding CSS to a set of elements. For example, if I want to add blue color to this LI and then the same blue color to PI and all, I'll add a class called blue. And in styles, I'll just call that blue. So I'll just show that here. I'm making a class, like dot blue means I'm using a class. If it's a dot, it means a class. I'm using color, then blue. And if I want to use this blue anywhere in this other page, I just have to like use a class there. For example, if I want to use that blue inside projects, so I want the project to be blue in color, so I'll just add a class blue. So using our styles, it just changes the color of the projects to blue. So when you want to select like more than just tag wise, for example, more than just H1, H2, you can select various like H1, so many H1, so many H2s. You can use a class. So in this one, we are using it to like add a icon. So basically, Font Awesome has styles, which makes this particular Twitter icon as a class, and you are adding it to our page, adding it to your page. Then inside your about, you might need something to be in bold, like something should be highlighted, something that should stand out. So you can use EM or strong. EM means emphasis. So if I'm using EM, it just makes my name bold. If I'm adding it inside EM, it just makes my okay. EM is for italics, strong is for making it bold. So if I add it inside EM, it just comes. Emphasis means it makes it like italics, and if I'm making it into strong, it'll just make it bold. So EM is for emphasis, and strong means it makes it bold. Then yeah, you can use this for like makes maybe standing some things out, make highlighting some things in your about, maybe that you're a full stack developer, or like you love programming particular language. So if you want to stand, if you want the person who's visiting your site to grab that particular information, like if you want something to stand out in your website, you can use a strong or an emphasis. So these you can use these to like make it much more uh, aesthetically beautiful. Then adding styles. So before I added color, now so I added a color, like I showed you how to change colors and all. So now if I wanna add like margin and all, I can just, here it's a margin is given. For example, here also if I wanna add a margin of 10 pixels, we'll just move that to 10 pixels to the right. So if I want to add 20, we just move to 20 pixels right. So basically, it just adds a margin. So like I said, you can just check the documentation for like getting more tags like this. So yeah, in CSS there are pixels. You can add px. Like here it's 3 VW. VW means viewport with units. So before I told, viewport is the display size of your computer. So it just like shows the like based on your, it just makes it responsive based on your display size. You just define the units. So pixels, it's not based on anything. It's just random. You can give 10 pixels. So it just moves 10 pixels to the right. Then percentage, it just moves 10 percentage, like from your entire page, it just moves 10 percentage to the right. And heights, based on your height, will change. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then all these things actually I've explained. The tag selector, like tag selector I've used, I showed you how class works. So I've showed you how C1, I mean H1, H2, all those things works. I also showed you how class works. Then making it into structures. So if you want like the projects on one side, the about on the other side, you can use something called a section. So here, if you want to add this Rahul Singhal is a section till about, I want it in one section, and from about to the next part, I want in the other. It's a different section. So now these are like two sections. I can like work on sections to make it on one side, on the other side, so that if I'm adding so a class here like main, so we can use this class to style it in our CSS page. So this is basically for like styling it in CSS page. I think we are way over our time, so I'll just skip through these things. I'll be sharing the slides so that you guys can like go through it. Basically for like making it two sections. So like if this basically text align is used for aligning the text to one side. For example, this hi Rahul, I'm using so hi Rahul is here in P. So if I want this hi Rahul to be in the center, I can use P text align center. So it just comes to the center. So yeah, I'm using P here as well as here, so it'll come to the center. So basically that's what P is used for, and width it's just for like how much width the element should have. If it's an image, how wide it should be. Yeah, it's basically using the tags. So yeah, in display there are different display types. It just like sets how big it is, like how small it is. For explaining better, I think I can show it here. So here, yeah, when I'm using block, it's just that space that is needed. I'll change it to inline. When I'm using, okay. So basically what flex does is that uh, it just makes it flexible. It just fits everything into one place. For example, if you're adding 3 images, if you're using block, it just takes up the entire space. But if you're using flex, it just takes up, like it just resizes them so that all the 3 is like stored in one place. So it just like makes it more flexible. which makes it like more responsive, which makes the website more flexible, more responsive. So nowadays, actually, most of the web developers use Flex as a display for like in their website to make it responsive. Then the height, I've like explained this part, height. All these eight, yeah. So basically, when you I'm adding a section called for left and the right, so that in the left I'll just make it in the flex I'll just make it to left, and in the right I'll just make the flex to right. So these are for like resizing, like I told, how big the image should be. You can like I can just open that selector and I can give it like 100 pixels, which will make it bigger. Oh, yeah, actually, 100 pixels is like which will make it 100 pixels. Like the width should be 100 pixels. If I'm making it into 500, it will become 500 pixels. So since like I told, this is also an image, we'll just make that width also like that much wider. So if I change the height will also change. So,
Rahul,
yeah.
we have a question in the chat. Like how to fit a big image into a small frame. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, one thing we can use is the flex part, or else you can also use, wait, I'll show. So in image, if I'm using percentage, for example, width as a percentage, I'm using 100% means it fills the 100% of the screen. If I'm using 50%, it just takes up only 50% of the screen. So basically, no matter how big your images or smaller images, when you're using a width, using a percentage, it just takes up that much percentage of the screen. So I think that answers it, right? Okay, I think, yeah. Then, so in CSS colors, you'll be able to like instead of using hex, like here I've used blue. So how many colors like like which all colors are defined like this, like blue, that you can get from here. I mean, I'll be sharing the page, so I mean I'll be sharing the slide, so you guys will be able to open that in yours. Yep. So we just made our like things that we need. So you guys can add more content like how you want it. You can add an image, social icons. We can add more social icons. This is basically if you want to add one more social icon, just copy, then paste, and just change the link to what it points to. And here, if I want to change it to Instagram, just change it to Instagram. This is based on the font or something. So if you want to change it to something else, you just check font or something, like what it is like. Here when I'm opening Twitter, it just shows yeah, so when I open Twitter in Font Awesome, it just shows there it's FA Twitter. 1 second. Yeah, it just shows FA Twitter. So same way, when you open something, it just shows that. I'll show that there, and you can like change it to the one that you needed. Then these are things that you wanna do by yourself. Like you guys wanna make it much more aesthetic. You guys can work on these things like optional customizations. You can add more fonts. Like I think I've used which font? Cookie. So if you want to add some other fonts, you just have to open Google Fonts and it'll be there. Like you can just add here. Basically, that's it. I think we covered everything that's there in our workshop. If you guys have any questions, just this is a quiz like made by MLS. Like just since you guys like learn this much, just try it out so that you guys can assess yourself like how much you know. So yeah, that's it. You can add more fonts, custom domain basically, like this google.com is the domain. So if you want to add something like, for example, if it's my site, I'll add something like rahul.com. So if you want, you can purchase, but in this case, I don't think we need to purchase a new domain and just use it. It's just for like this is showing. If you want to try that, you can try that. And that's it. Anyone has any doubts? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, bro.
Okay, so I think how to add graphics. Graphics as like SVG. The building, deploying, build and deploy your first website. That's the hackathon that I did. Okay, I didn't get that question clear. How to add graphics? What do you mean by graphics? Like SVG files? Hello, Bharat. Okay, so SVG files, same way, like how I added PNG, you can add SVG files also. I mean, that's also an asset. So when you add an SVG file, it'll just render it as an image, and you can like make it wider and smaller. So one good thing when you add SVG, like graphics, is mainly like it won't pixelate. Like in this image, when I made it bigger, it just pixelated. It just looked, it just like so much bad clarity. Like it's not that good clarity. But when you're using graphics, it just preserve the clarity. How much bigger you make it, how much smaller you make it, that clarity remains the same. Yeah, like once you make it here, you can actually if you're making something from like making something here, you can share the live site with your friends, or like if you're making portfolio here, you can share the portfolio with your friends. You can get the code here. uh, I think these are pretty much it. uh, is there any more doubts? If there is any more doubts, uh, post it in the chat, or else I think we can wind up. Repo. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can download these things and like make it into repository in GitHub. For example, hmm, it is there somewhere here. Like how to download this file. Basically, you can like download these files as a zip file, and you can add that to your Git repository. So in Git, you can add like upload files, and there you can just upload it. It was somewhere here. I think when you go to the main screen, you'll be able to see that. It was. Yeah, download. So you can download it, and then like you can add it as a Git repo. This comes as a zip file. You can extract it, then add it in your Git repository. So in Git is basically make a new repository and just add it there. Live update as in. No, it won't. Actually, once you like add it to GitHub, basically you have to change it in your laptop itself. So basically, when you're downloading it, you're getting an HTML file on your laptop, and when you're changing it there, you can see the change. You can open that HTML file in your browser itself, and you can see the change there and commit it to GitHub. A glitch is basically for like not downloading, just working around online itself. Like you want to share it with your friends, and like two, three people are working on the same HTML file, then glitch is useful. It's basically just for the hello world part. Once you make something very serious, you have to like take it to your code editor, and you can work on it. Then the change is useful. Yeah, both are independent. Glitch is just for like testing it out. It's like an online interpreter kind of thing. Like yeah, VS Code. That's a code editor. Like there you can work on it. Yeah. So I think that's it. Any more doubts? If there are any more doubts, like you guys are trying this out, and you guys are not able to finish it, just in Discord, just tag me like at Rahul Singh and just ask me the doubt. And yep, Rahul, all the best. I mean, we can go have dinner now. I think it's too late. I mean, it was supposed to get wrapped up at 9 o'clock, but then it just got extended because I was explaining, like I was just going kind of in depth with some things. And yeah, I'll be sharing the slides. Domains for free. Actually, right now you won't be getting domains for free. but there is a site called .tech where you can request for domains. So if you have like a really good idea that like the idea that you want everyone to see, then basically you can go to .tech domains and request them for a domain. You can tell them like, I have this idea, this particular idea. I think this idea can change the world. Like, this company that I want to get kickstarted, and you can request them, can you give me a free domain? And if they like your idea, then they'll give you a free domain, and you can post it using .tech. .ml and .tk free, but the problem with .ml, .tk are like the traffic problem will come. Like, if you if too many people open it at the same time, the site can crash. So that's why people don't prefer .ml. Like when you're making something more serious, .ml or .tk is not preferred. And until you get serious, actually you can go with subdomains like github.io or Vercel or Netlify or even just ddns.net. There is something called ddns.net. You guys can like go check that out. BDNS domain. So you'll get this for free if you want. If you made something and the glitch is like a very lengthy random .glitch.com, you can change it to like your name. For example, rahulsunil.bdns.net. So just check it out. Like I'll just share the link here. Yeah, how we can use Glitch website. So basically, like I said, Glitch is mainly for this is mainly for testing. Like it's like a hello world. It's basically for getting started, how each of them works. Or is like once you collaborate with your friends and you made this website, you can download it and one of you can upload it. Or else if you want, you can use Replit, which is one of our sponsors. You'll be getting a premium subscription to Replit, like because of our hackathon, we'll be giving it to you people. And there also you can do the same thing. You can share the code, like you guys can work at the same time. Just share the link, like invite. You guys can work at the same time, and then download it. Yeah, live code it. I'll just share this link also. We'll be giving out the like the premium account link soon. Once like mainly for teams, like once you guys teamed up, and during the hackathon, we'll be giving that out. You're not attend. You are attending local hosts, but LHT. That's I think you are referring to the LHTs that are organized by MLH. That got over recently. That is not this one. Thanks, Mohammed. So, yeah, like I said, you can use GitHub for hosting your websites, which is free, or else you can use. I'll just share GitHub pages. I mean, sorry. So basically, when you add, like someone asked how to add it into Git, like once you add it to GitHub, you'll be able to host it using GitHub pages, which is actually free, and we can open it. Like anyone around the world can open it. Will be hosted. Yeah. Anything more? So I think that's it. Okay then. Bye. Good night.